ready to take your investment game to the next level? Introducing Digital Investor, your ultimate guide to mastering the digital marketplace. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, Digital Investor brings you cutting-edge game theoretical strategies, expert insights, and real-time tips and tactics to analyze, evaluate, invest, and grow your wealth. Don't miss out on the digital revolution. Visit www.nickblacknex.com and start your journey with Digital Investor today.
Listen to the mellow sounds of Subi Outperformed Everyone Else Radio.
Shit. You see that thing?
Suey kicked some dicks yesterday.
Wow. What's it up, like
Bitcoin's doing a little
30%?
What's that?
30-something% in the last 2 days or something like that.
Okay, sorry. We do apologize for being tardy. We were tardy. We have to accept. We have to take our lumps. We were finishing up a not completed call with Hypercycle. There's all these things that they're sharing, but we only got like a third of it, and a third is not enough for us to understand. So we will have those other 2/3 of those conversations later. Yeah. All right. Yeah, good day in the market. Brandon, did you do anything? I know that you don't have to tell me anything that would be behind the wally, but did you do anything yesterday? Or like
no. I moved some things over for some things, but like that's it.
Wait, what'd you move?
Just some for some options.
Oh,
getting my thing set up. I wanna slam dunk that thing.
Okay, guess what I found out? At least on E-Trade, IBIT is not marginable.
Oh, really? I wonder if it's marginable anywhere.
So the only place I would go to look is I think it might be marginable at Interactive Brokers.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Because usually those higher risk assets are not marginable.
Yeah.
Like
but
even Tesla's only like 20%
Interactive
marginable.
Brokers is like the Binance of like traditional brokerage houses.
They just kind of put it out there and see what y'all do.
Dude, your margin accounts there have 10x leverage.
Ugh. Oh, I don't even like that lack of safety.
Yeah, but if you're deep enough in yeah, you're right. It's sketch. Margin bankrupts people. But it's just interesting. I was on with one of the brokers from E-Trade this morning, and I said, "Hey, what's the deal?" And he's like, "Yeah, our risk mitigation team doesn't allow margining of those accounts of IBIT." And I said, "Okay, but then why in it does it show a margin, like my margin balance for IBIT, but then you can't complete the trade?" They're like, "Oh yeah, well we'll talk to the tech guys about that."
We'll talk to the tech team about that.
Like, I always think it's funny when I ask some question and they always tell me, "Oh, no one's ever brought that to our attention." Oh, really? I'm the first one that's ever asked that question, ever, at E-Trade. Yeah. Get off the gas, man. These dudes, whatever it is. I mean, these are call center dudes. I guess the call center dudes, the traders there, or the brokers there, are dudes that got like they got their Series 7 or their registered investment advisor, test. They finished it 2 weeks ago, and they have to do like 6 months in the trenches before they get like a, you know what I mean? Like before they get a real job. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Okay, but anyway, behind the wall later, we'll talk about what's going on with the options accounts. Brandon funded his with extra dough. I funded mine with some extra dough yesterday. And I think we were both kind of watching to see if Bitcoin gave some back. It looks like it's giving some back right now. A little.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that's good because the contracts I was looking at were 88 cents and now they are $1.40. $1.40.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So
volatility is vitality, as Michael Saylor says, right?
yeah, well, who knows? That guy probably had blood boys and everything, every other weird thing you can imagine. But anyway, yeah. So we'll talk about that behind the wall. Jupe vote. That's right. That's right. That's today.
Yeah, it is.
I went ahead, Brandon, and I staked. You know, I bought some extra Jupe.
You staked it
I staked it
because you like the price movement.
I mean, I thought, you know, I could deuce out now and take my 20%, but I kind of bought it for a double. So what I was going to do is if I saw the price approaching 70 cents, I would unstake just that portion. Yeah.
Yeah. I get that. I'm here for that.
Otherwise, I'm going to collect me old fat ass Q2 rewards. What? Okay. Do we have any behind the wall do we have any office-y related stuff that we need to sort out? I've got one.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
What?
I got a message. Hey, I didn't get my XYZ tokens. I said, oh, okay. Did you check Etherscan? Yes. Let me see your wallet address. Copy, paste, token transfers. I was like, well, what about these? What do you mean? Well, what about these from 3 days ago? 19,437 tokens. What about these tokens? Did you not get these? Well, what do I have to do to put them in my wallet? Oh my
no way.
God.
No.
Buddy, they're already in your wallet. Okay, how do I get them? You have them. They are there. Dear God. Anyway.
What?
It is what it is. It is what it is. Listen, so just remember when you guys are looking, MetaMask, when you're looking at MetaMask, that's not the source of truth. MetaMask is a viewer. It's a way to look, but it's not the source of truth. Etherscan, as far as Ethereum is concerned, base assets, whatever. Etherscan is the source of truth. Go to Etherscan, view your wallet through Etherscan, and you can see all the tokens you have, when you got them, when you sent them, who did everything. It's all right there. MetaMask is not enough. Just go deeper. Just remember that. You don't see it on MetaMask. There's all sorts of janky stuff. A lot of times lately, I'll be sending a MetaMask transaction and it says transaction failed. But then I go to Etherscan and the currency units have already gone. They are there. It happened. And so Etherscan is the source of truth. MetaMask not. Oh, what?
Charles Schwab, huh?
Charles Schwab?
They're trying to make moves, aren't they?
Wait a minute. What do you mean? You get 30% margin ability? Meaning for every 10 shares you can borrow 3?
Yeah. Wait, no.
Or is that a 3x leverage?
No, you have to have 30% to borrow 100. Does that? I guess. So you have to have 30% of the asset value. So where I bet it's $48, you have to have like $18 in your account or whatever.
It's like the reverse, like value to loan instead of loan to value.
Yeah, I think so.
So why E-Trade, man? What a bunch of...
Or they'll loan you 30% or something, vice versa, whatever it is.
What a bunch of Dick Van Dykes. You know what I mean? Okay. I do want to look at, if anybody can pull up Interactive Brokers and look what the margin, I bet it's nothing. I bet at Interactive Brokers, you have to have like 4 cents and you can margin like $100 worth of stuff. I will say this though, Interactive Brokers, extremely flipping liquid, really liquid. So there you go. Okay. And I mean, this is, when you're looking at, you can't judge regular exchanges and regular financial institutions the way you judge crypto. For instance, what's happening at the market on E-Trade is not E-Trade's market. It's not like Coinbase where E-Trade has their own private market. They're accessing NASDAQ, ARCA, NYSE. It's a viewer. Basically, these are just your MetaMasks for interacting with the major exchanges. Whereas like Coinbase, it's all in shop. Binance, it's in shop. There's not one big giant worldwide crypto exchange where everybody participates. There's these little ones and you participate. You're dealing with the liquidity or illiquidity on each one. So you do have to in your mind kind of change that. But I do think it's funny. Yeah. So there you go. Anyway, finally I have something good with IB. Yeah. Interactive Brokers is dope. And you can set up business accounts pretty easy. I remember setting up a business account at Interactive Brokers. It wasn't like stupid difficult. Yeah. Let's see. Joseph asks, does it pay to do options if you think Bitcoin is going to go to 150K? Yes. But here's something that you need to keep in mind. What was that? Stop it. Here's something you need to keep in mind about options. When you're in the options market, are you investing in and around Bitcoin, or are you simply trying to grind yield by capitalizing on time and volatility? A or B? You have in your mind, you have to separate it. You're not a Bitcoin trader and you're not in the Bitcoin market anymore once you're trading options. You said in your mind that this amount of money, all I want to do is turn yield on this amount of money. I want X amount to be X plus some percentage more than some crappy Fed funds or treasuries or parking my money on Coinbase. I want to just turn money into more money. It's a money making. It's a little kind of ATM. It's B. Yes, B. You guys nailed it. So you can't think, oh, well, because Joseph, if you believe Bitcoin's going to do 150K quickly, sit in Bitcoin. Like don't take money that you would have allocated for Bitcoin and push it over into options, because in a bull market, if you're in a bull market and if you know the trajectory, the trajectory and the timing, and if you know the future, which no one does, any of those things, by the way, if you know all those things, well, then just sit. And matter of fact, if you know all those things, just go buy the lottery ticket this week for the next 6 numbers, because you know that too, because you can see the future. But since none of us can see the future, it might make sense that part of our portfolio, we just say, I just want this money to be more money because of compounding interest effects. I'm going to grind by selling cash secured puts and selling covered calls and just wash, rinse, and repeat that kind of wheel strategy over and over and over, and take basically be your own, like really be a manager of a pile of money. Because in the options market, when you say that, Brandon, you are making it happen. Bitcoin, you ain't making it happen. You just hoping other people make it happen. You hope there's enough dumbass Michael Saylors out there that the next dumb dollar comes and they continue to buy this asset up.
Ponzi scheme, right? Basically.
I mean, it is what it is. So you're taking control over some of your currency units. That's why we're pushing so hard in the options game. We did resist for quite a while because we didn't want to go back to traditional currency units and play this whole stupid game. But the reality is, there are few. I mean, other than, I guess Ethereum is pretty volatile too. So once that market gets going, but there are very few markets that have the extreme volatility that Bitcoin has. And so that volatility equals premium. And so it's a good arbitrage. And the people that you're playing against, the other competitors in this space, are Joe Six-Pack retail investors. And a few like-minded people like yourself. You have a huge intellectual arbitrage ability. You should, if you're following these markets, have a better pulse on what Bitcoin's doing than the other people playing this game. Because most people, I'm betting, that are playing this game in IBIT are simply new retail investors that got the asset, that are just selling calls out of the money to grab a little extra cash. This isn't their strategy. They think they own Bitcoin. We know that we do not. Owning IBIT is not owning Bitcoin. It's nothing even close to it. So just be okay with that. Yeah. No, James, we're not behind the damn wall. We will go behind the wall, but not there yet. We got to knock out these questions, bro. Let's see. So what would one do if they hold IBIT and plan to hold it for a very long time? Want to earn income on a long-term hold asset? Well, Brandon, you take this one.
If I was going to hold IBIT and I didn't want to be called out on it, I would just play it a little bit safer. You're going to make a little bit less, but you're going to sell way out of the money calls so that you won't get called out. So 10% plus out of the money on the weeklies, you should be fine, is my guess. So that's what I would do.
You know what you could do? You could sell quarterly and go way out of the money. You could go.
Yeah,
You could
I think
go
you'll make more
100% out of the
weekly,
money.
but yeah, you could. You could. I wonder what the call. We could look at that too when we go behind the wall. Look at the difference between the weekly out of the money or the quarterly out of the money. But that way you won't get called out of your IBIT. You'll hold it for a long time, and as long as Bitcoin doesn't move 10% per week, which it shouldn't normally,
And if
you
it
should be
does,
fine.
oh effing well, you got paid a premium and a double.
Yeah, you got paid because you get the premium all the way up to the out of the money call that you sold.
If you really listen, if you really want to experience the long-term price appreciation of Bitcoin and not worry about getting called out, hold Bitcoin at Coinbase or in a private wallet and don't sell anything against it. Remember, you can't have your cake and eat it too and vomit it up, and like you can't do both. You can't hold the asset and not expose it to some risk of being purchased if you want to collect premium on it. You're getting paid for someone else to have the right, but not the obligation, simply the right to purchase your asset at some price, which you stipulate through the strike price that you're willing to offer them. Meaning that you're willing to accept a swap of currency units for your assets at that price plus some premium. You got to be willing to do that. And again, everybody's going to have a different percentage. Me right now, I have it's 20% to, I have 20% to, well, no, wait. No, that's not true. That's not true. It's about 15%. I have about 15% that I have earmarked for cash secured puts and covered calls against IBIT compared to my Bitcoin stash that's sitting stuck, meaning it's not doing anything. It's a non-performing asset, but I'm just going to park it there. And that's kind of like my Bitcoin retirement or whatever. But these two are not related. The Bitcoin I'm holding so that it appreciates in value because I think the magic money machine is going to keep going and government's going to keep printing and I'm going to eventually have $1 million of Bitcoin. That's a whole separate thing from cash I'm putting at E-Trade or Interactive Brokers or Fidelity to spin back and forth between the puts and the calls to simply grind yield. Because there I have more control over it. I can at least somewhat determine my future by the way I sell calls and puts and by the way I manipulate those, those weird assets, those derivatives, they're derivatives. And I look and I go, okay, cool. If I can average 5.9% a month, which I think I can, but you never know. But if I can get 5.9% a month on X amount of money in 5 years, it's a way bigger amount of money. It's X times like 18. I mean, it's stupid. So because of the effects of compounding interest, but it's not like fire and forget like investing is. Investing is great. Fire, forget, sit back, wait, go, do your life. You do you, live your best life. Come back, see if you're rich. It is a tedious grind, but there is something, I don't know, Brandon, there's something very, I don't even know what the word is. It's not comforting, but it's like financially comforting. If there was a word that meant financially comforting, when you fire off an options contract, when you sell one and immediately money is in your account, you're like, oh.
Yeah, because you get the money right away. You can utilize it. I mean, you can even go buy more stuff with it.
It's like a little money-gasm. You get a little money-gasm.
Sure.
And you feel like you're doing something in a market where because we are speculators, most of us. So when you feel like you can actually do something and turn a reward that moment, you're like, oh, hell yeah. Anyway, that's my 17 cents on that.
Okay, so I got the math for you, Beth, too, when we go behind the wall. So anyway, go ahead.
Okay.
Just when we go behind
Brandon,
the wall.
can we get a template of a paper trade? Joseph, what do you mean? Like a template to paper trade? Well, what you should be doing is go to use Think or Swim. Isn't that right? Can't you use Think or Swim?
Yeah, you can actually start up an account and actually paper trade on Thinkorswim, and it keeps track of your portfolio. It's kind of nice. If you want to do it on a spreadsheet, then you would just get a spreadsheet similar to the one that I put on the dashboard, and just track your trades that way. Just like when you would have sold, when you would have bought, exactly.
Brandon, you want to know how the guy that first trained me in trading, you know when he made me do? I had to keep one of those stupid little diaries and hand write the trade. Like
Did you have an eraser? Did you go back and erase? Oh no, I sold it this price.
DNLT put the little at symbol, this price times 620 shares for, and then I'd have to say what I'm doing and why I'm doing and how it turned out. What I'm doing, why I'm doing it. I would say why,
Why?
Because I think it will go up for these reasons.
That's right.
And then I would leave a little space and I would date it. And then I would come back and I would say, okay, sold, margined, deleted, whatever. You know, why? So I had this diary and he made me do it for, I probably did it for a couple months, not like forever, but I still sometimes go back and hand write trades just so in my mind, I'm like, oh, I know I do this. In Live Coin Watch, you know where it has notes?
Yeah.
I do that. I turn on, her, and then I say what was my mindset while I did the trade, so that later on I can come back and say, wait, what in the F was I thinking? Right? Because then you say, man, if I had some flawed thinking, I'd like to be able to give a course correction. But yeah. Anyway. That, but yeah, Think or Swim, I think is for you, buddy. Okay, I think that let me see, my GMRT on I can see on Etherscan and Node Market, but not on MetaMask. Oh, you may not be on the right network, buddy. You may
also have you added the token, the custom token?
You may have to add
you have to tell MetaMask to view it too. MetaMask is not as. I've been really a fan of Phantom.
Phantom is
they find all the tokens without adding them all the stuff.
Diana, what you need to do is you need to add a custom token. So if you scroll to the bottom of your tokens, you can click a button. You can do import token, and an import token has two sides: import token or custom token. On the custom token side, you can add the contract address. You say, what's the contract address? You can just go to the Googles or to the Braves or whatever is your preferred, whatever search engine, and say contract address for GMRT. And there'll be a contract address. And you will take that contract address. That's where you'll input that. And then it will allow you to add it. And then in your wallet, you can see it. Bam. Yeah. Don't think that MetaMask sometimes gets it right and sometimes not so much. Can we use Think or Swim without funding an account? Yes, you can use it for free. Yeah. 1-2 free, my favorite number.
I was gonna show it on the show too. I just haven't downloaded it yet. It's pretty intensive on your PC. So I was gonna download it and then I could show it on the show too, how to use Think or Swim a little bit.
The news I got yesterday was they are waiting for the organization that's doing Dubai Week to make their announcement first. That they had told GMRT, let us do our formal announcement before you guys do your whatever, because it's Dubai, and I guess they fancy there. So whenever Dubai AI Week's press machine says GMRT, then GMRT will come back and go, also, yeah, man, bro. Although I think you probably get your hands chopped off if you ever called any of those sheiks a man, bro. But they are, man, bros. Okay. So I think we nailed that. Can we pretty much nailed everything. Should we go behind the wall?
Yeah.
Look, real quick. Crypto is confusing AF. AI is confusing AF. Technology in general is confusing. So if you guys you're jumping in and you're getting a little bit of this each day and you find that you're confused, just be okay with it. This stuff is confusing. You're not going to get it in a day. It's like you don't go to college to study physics and like within a week you're like, oh, I know everything now from the Big Bang to now. I've got it. Particle symmetries and everything. We got this. No, man. It takes a lot. And a lot of these concepts are weird concepts. And it takes you a while to wrap your mind around those concepts. And then other stuff will start to make sense. So one, don't beat yourself up over it. And two, you might want to lower your own expectations of how fast you're going to assimilate this stuff. I say that because there's people that manage a lot of money that have no flipping clue what they're doing. None. I would say that in this group, there's probably, of the 200 people that are online right now, I bet we could pick 20 people out of this group that are smarter than most of the hedge fund managers I met. And those dudes are managing billions of dollars. So they don't get it either. Matter of fact, they get it even less because they're just doing sales all the time. They understand crypto. They understand sales. So don't beat yourself up if you're not absorbing this so quickly. But also, before anything else, go back and read the Bitcoin white paper. Just go read the original seminal document for where it all started. That should be everybody's step one. Step two should be read the Ethereum white paper so that smart contracts make something of sense to you. At least if you have those in the back of your brain foundationally, this whole space starts to make a little bit more sense. It won't help you make money. No, not at all. But it will give you some foundation. So anyway, there you go. Foundations. And also become a digital investor. Damn, that was a plug, bro. All right. Okay, I guess let's go behind the wall. Let's see.
Yeah.
I took a year before there was digital investors to understand crypto, including paper trades. That's good. I mean, you did the homework then, James. That's good. Yeah. Okay. So let's get behind the wall. Woo woo. Hold on. Let me click the right buttons. I'm clicking all the wrong buttons here, bro. Let me go to this one right here. All the cool stuff that they get. Woo woo. Do this thing. I could click this button. There's a lot of buttons need to be clicked. It's not just one button. You guys think it's one button. There's like 4 buttons.
There's more than one
Going
button.
behind the proverbial wall now to continue the broadcast privately for the digital investors and digital private clients. If you'd like to join us, simply go to nickblacknext.com and subscribe to one of our plans and immediately take advantage of our library of tools, tactics, and information. It's all designed to help you learn, grow, and manage your portfolio like a pro. Join us now.
I like that part. Like a pro, join us now. At first, it was bothering me, but now it's that guy's growing on me. I almost feel like, even though we know he doesn't exist because he's some code, I feel like if we met him at some point, we'd be like, wait a minute.
Let's go let's go drink with him.
You're him.
Right.
And he'd be like, yes, I am. Join me now. What? Oh, we'd be like high-fiving and stuff. Woo! He did his thing with the cadence.
That's
all right.
Funny. Like a pro.
Like a pro, join us now. He'd be like, let's go have beer. Join me now. Oh, yeah. Even though I don't drink beer. But oh, yeah. Because he wanted to join us part.
Pro.
Yeah.
Pro.